Alrighty, what's up YouTube? Back with my fifth update video, excluding my Fish Club video I posted about, I think on Tuesday. Um, Now in front of you, I have two yellow tanks, or tanks with yellow water. And the reason for that is because I'm actually medicating both of these tanks. My last update video, I talked about my two red Iranians that I got, and I should have quarantined. Yeah, I should have quarantined them. They were actually they got sick, or they were sick already, um, and both of them had fin rot. Now you could probably tell the one on the left. He's actually in the middle of the tank. He's looking pretty lethargic, swimming really slowly. Yeah, that guy is definitely sick. Now he actually looks better than what he looked like before. Before he was like, actually going right side up or upside down. He was going upside down, so he was definitely looking dead or dying. So I didn't really have a quarantine tank set up, so I just plopped him in this 10-gallon with my newer white shadows or white clouds, excuse me, white clouds, and started quarantining him since the white clouds are new too. I kind of try to do two birds with one stone. And you can see this Grommy in the far or the middle left tank also. Now this guy was actually from inside my house, and he was actually acting pretty lethargic also, and he was really skinny. So I decided that maybe, I was assuming that he had a parasite, so I plopped him in here, and lo and behold, 2 days later, he started eating really well, started swimming around, gaining some weight. So I'm assuming the medication worked. So yeah, and then to the tank to the right, I let's see, what else do I have in the tank to the right? I have my bushy noses, and I have this red Iranian right there in the middle. Now he wasn't as bad with the fin rot, but he still had a little bit on his dorsal fin. So he's still eating, but he's not as lethargic as the one to the left. Oh, I forgot to mention, the one to the left is actually not eating at all. Haven't seen him eat for about a week. So I actually just bought, I believe it's called Garlic Extreme by Ken's. And what it is a additive to your food to entice fish to, eat, actually. So I tried it today. He didn't really, actually, I could tell it piqued his interest in the food, but he still wasn't eating. He would take it in, chew it, and then spit it back out. So at least he's actually putting stuff in his mouth. So hopefully he starts eating tomorrow or the day after that. But yeah, he's looking a little bit better. But yeah, back to this tank to the right. What else do we have in here? I did put a tiger barb in here. The tiger barb is actually from the tank inside my house also. He's one of the fish that I believe had a parasite, internal parasite, because he was really skinny, super lethargic, would just hide in the corner. Now he's actually bulking up and swimming around. So yeah, I think the medication is definitely working. If we take a look at this little guy right here, this is one of my, let's see if I can get him, just the tail I guess. This is one of my bushy nose plecos that I got from the Fish Club. He's actually eating a piece of cucumber. Now if you're wondering why the fork is in there, it's actually to keep the cucumber weighted down, just because cucumber actually floats when I put it inside the aquarium. So yeah, so that's why the fork's in there. So yeah, I'm gonna keep these two tanks medicated for a few more days, just because obviously the red Iranians aren't fully at 100% yet. Hopefully the red rainbow on the left doesn't die. He is pretty skinny, hasn't eaten for about a week, so I'll keep my fingers crossed, keep you guys updated. But yeah, these two tanks are definitely medicated. Oh, and the medication I am using, let's see, excuse me, this might be a little bit shaky right here. Let me grab it right here. I'm using both these. I don't know if you can see it. It's General Cure by API and Furan 2. So one of them's for more of parasites, and the other one's for bacterial infections. So I'm using both of them at the same time. So yeah, my plants don't seem to hate it so much. I'm not sure if they like it though, but they seem to be doing fine. Hopefully, these fish, their health improves, so I could actually take out this tank water and replace it with new clean water. Also, I haven't been dosing my fertilizer or my Excel either, so my plants may not be really happy right now, but they look fine. And you might actually notice that to the tank to the left, I don't have my rainbows in here anymore, or at least my Boesemani's. And I actually took them out because obviously I had like so many fish in here. I didn't want this tank to be too crammed, and I want them to grow too. So I actually moved them to this my old 30-gallon quarantine tank that I had my original red Iranians in. I'll probably show you this tank next. And I moved the plants out. So I actually moved those plants that were in that 10-gallon over to this tank. And the reason I moved these out was because these plants were in my the middle tank in my quarantine, or my now quarantine tank, or one of them, excuse me. And I felt like there was so much plants in there that the debris would actually settle on the glass, and actually it would actually foul the tank. And it was really hard to gravel vacuum or vacuum the bottom of the tank with so many plants. So the tank's so like jam packed with plants. So I moved these over. So these ones weren't really exposed to the medication, but they aren't getting as much as, or really like the light intensity in this tank isn't as high as the 10 gallons, because I'm using some like really, like, I think reptile bulbs, but they're Java ferns. They're not too picky. Now you can see the melting red Crips Wendiddy right here that I got from the club. Melting's fine. That's natural. It melts. Hopefully it'll come back. But yeah, so I put my Boesemani's in here. They'll be in here for another 2 weeks or so. Hopefully I have the 40 gallons set up by then in my garage. So yeah, I have the 5 Boesemani's in here, and then I have 1 gold Gourami. I don't know where he is. Let's see if we can find him. I believe he's in the far right. Yeah, there he is, just behind that sponge. I actually took him out from the tank, my 10 gallon on the right hand side. I'm sure you guys know where that is by now, probably not, but yeah, I took him out because I put my red Iranian rainbow fish in there, and he just kept attacking him, and it just snipped his fins like everywhere. He got beat up. So this guy was a bit aggressive. So yeah, I took him out, put him in this tank, so it could not stress on my red Iranians. All right, let's move up to the 40 breeder. Alrighty, so 40 breeder, what's new with this tank? I did take out 2 red Iranians and did put them in quarantine. I told you guys that like this whole video. But yeah, the plants are doing well. Now the red Wendiddy is actually doing better in this tank than both the other tanks. I don't know why. It's probably because it's right underneath the light, and yeah, actually I don't know why. It might melt a little bit later, I'm not sure, but hopefully it doesn't melt too much, because the more it melts, the longer it takes for new. Well, no, it melts and new leaves replace it pretty quickly actually. But yeah, melting never looks good, that's why. All the rainbows looking good. Let's see, I'm really impressed with these 2 lily bulbs right here. They're growing really, really well, and the red and green and the off brown is actually contrast really well against the bright green plants, all the other green plants in the tank. So yeah, I like it. It's a good change. This one's actually really big. It's in his pot, so actually it's sending a lot of pond lilies, or pond shoots, I guess. I'm not sure what they call them, but pond lily leaves up to the surface. I keep cutting them off because I want to keep that really bushy look to my my lilies. So yeah, the 40 breeder is doing good. All the Chinese algae eaters seem to be hiding. Oh no, one just actually came out of that crack right there. I don't know if you can see him. zoom in. There he is. I'll probably run back between the Tupperware. But yeah, those guys are doing well. And then last but not, oof, dang, you hear that? That was my knees. Not last but not least, we have that 10-gallon on the far left side. I did put the guppy grass in here. The guppy grass is kind of looking really messy. You can't tell from the video, but the guppy grass actually does have green hair algae on it. Not much, nothing too crazy right now. I hope the plants could outcompete the algae. If not, then I'm gonna have to find a way to get rid of the algae without killing my plants. But yeah, I'm liking how it makes it look kind of like jungle-like. I think the fish like it too. And then yeah, the 5 red or the 5 Australian rainbows are doing really well. But they are getting bigger. They're way too big for this tank. There's too many for this tank, so I really want to move them out soon. I think I've been saying that for, jeez, like 3 weeks now already. So yeah. And then I have the fry in here. Actually, I picked up a few more fry in this tank. Not sure if they're still alive. I don't really check on them. I hope they can eat the microorganisms off the moss and the leaves. But yeah, I don't have any micro fry food or anything like that. So hopefully they survive. If they don't, not big of a deal. Again, I'm not really trying to raise fry right now. I have this breeder box in there so the little plantlets or the small pieces of moss don't fly everywhere. But yeah, nothing really new, I guess, or nothing major in all these tanks, but I never keep anything really consistent, which is kind of crazy because I'm constantly getting new things, buying new plants, getting new fish. Fish get sick. I want to move plants to other tanks, fish growing, stuff like that. I'm constantly, managing every tank, and if something doesn't get along, I'll move that fish or whatnot. So I shoot these videos and try to see my progression. I mean, see my progression in this hobby, but I don't really. You can't really tell because like this plant wasn't here last week. This guppy grass wasn't here last week. And this red Wendidia wasn't here last week. And I moved the dorsage, this one in the front, from my 40 to this tank. So I can't, get a reference for how much it grew per se. But such is life, I guess, is the name of the hobby. If you really like something, you're going to constantly obsess over it and get new stuff. And yeah, that's how I am. I just kind of buy stuff, and if I don't have space for it, I'll make space for it. But I'm pretty excited for the setting up the 40 gallons. Started cleaning the garage. Hopefully I have enough space. I haven't figured out everything. Like, I haven't figured out the layout or where the outlets are gonna lay, or where the outlets are gonna be. But I know I need to put the fish tanks in there just because I know it's getting colder, and this rack is actually sucking up a lot of energies, aka the heaters. They're on 24/7, which I don't want them to be because it's pretty pricey. Yeah, so thanks for checking this out, and I'll probably update you guys again on Wednesday, or maybe, yeah, I'll probably update again on Wednesday. Hopefully everything will look a little bit more organized and clean. Hopefully this tank water won't be yellow anymore. But yeah, thanks for checking out, and I'll see you guys next time.